Hey, kid, have you heard this one before?
You can pick your friends. You can pick your nose. But you shouldn't pick your friend's nose. Gross.
Yeah, super gross.
Ugh.
But be honest, you've picked your nose, haven't you? You might even be picking it right now.
Nah, I don't know about that.
Who hasn't? I have. Your friends have. Your parents, your teachers, even the most famous people in the world pick their nose. And if you're really, really famous and powerful, maybe you can get someone else to pick your nose for you.
Nose bigger? Nose bigger, where are you?
You want me to pick your nose? Right now?
Yes, I'm feeling stuffy.
Awesome. Let me just stretch my picking finger. 2, 3. Okay, here we go. Yep, all right. I'm really in there. Yeah. Awesome.
That feels nice.
Now the other nostril. Now hook the pinky and boom! Alakazam, you are now booger-free.
Well done. I must say, my nose has never felt cleaner.
It might sound crazy, but there's evidence to suggest the famous Egyptian pharaoh, King Tut, had a personal nose picker. In the 1970s, archaeologists discovered scrolls from approximately 1,350 BC that document payments of 3 head of cattle plus food and lodging to King Tutankhamun's personal nose picker for their nose-picking services.
What?
Crazy, right?
Uh-huh.
That also means for at least the last 3,350 years, and probably a lot longer, humans have been picking boogers from their noses.
Whoa.
But what are boogers anyways?
I don't know.
Why do we pick them?
Ew.
And why do some people eat them?
Yuck.
The answer is as plain as the nose on your face. It's time for another whiff of science on
Who smarted? Who's smarted? Who's smart? Is it you? Is it me? Is it science or history? Listen up, everyone. We make smarting lots of fun on Who's Smarted.
Whether you call them boogers, boogies, snots, nose goblins, or golden nuggets, I assure you, pretty much everyone on Earth has at some point in their life picked their nose. In a recent survey, 90% of the people admitted picking their nose. The other 10% were probably lying.
What? I would never.
But have you ever wondered, why do we all pick our noses? Do we like the feeling? Are we searching for something? Trying to breathe better? Are we just bored?
I don't know.
To find out, we're introducing a new segment called What Is It Good For? Hello. On today's show, we're talking boogers. Let's meet our special guest expert, Mr. Mucus.
Please, call me Marcus.
Fine, Marcus. We're all dying to know, boogers, what are they good for?
Great question. Some people might think boogers are super gross, but they're actually very important for your health. Your body makes them to protect you from viruses and irritating particles in the air that you breathe in every day.
I see, but what exactly are boogers?
Boogers are basically dried out mucus.
Mucus? Not you, Mr. Marcus Mucus.
No, not me. I get that a lot. Mucus, you see, is a slimy substance made up mostly of water that is found in your nasal cavities. And while it too sounds super gross, mucus is kind of like your very own superpower. In fact, your nose and throat produce up to 2 quarts of it a day.
2 quarts? That's like 4 bottles of water. Why do we need so much mucus?
3 reasons. 1, it's a lubricant to help keep your nose and sinuses wet, which protects them from irritation. 2, it's a shield to protect the incredibly thin and delicate tissue and blood vessels in your nostrils and sinuses. And 3, it's a trap to help catch intruders like dust, pollen, bacteria, and viruses that you breathe in through your nose.
Gotcha.
Trapping them in your nose keeps them from traveling down to your lungs where they can cause allergies, infections, or other illnesses.
But here's the million-dollar question. After the mucus traps these things, how do they become boogers?
Great question. Once the mucus has trapped the bad stuff, little hairs in your nose called cilia move it toward the front of your nose. Then you either blow it out, or it sits there and dries out, and that's when it becomes a booger.
Amazing. Tell me, what are some things about boogers that most people don't know?
For starters, if you don't clean boogers out of your nose, you'll most likely just swallow them throughout the day.
Ugh.
Ugh. But guess what? That's totally fine.
Oh.
Most of the mucus that your body makes ends up in the stomach anyway.
Ugh.
Ugh. But don't worry, your stomach makes super strong acids to kill anything that might be harmful.
Yay.
Gotcha. Now, of course, the dried mucus, boogers, can start to feel a little uncomfortable in your nose, which is why you, me, and everyone listening tends to pick them.
Gross.
Is there a more acceptable way to get rid of boogers you can't blow out?
If you're asking me if there's a best way to pick your nose, the answer is yes. With a tissue. While using your finger might seem easier and maybe more fun, you should know that since boogers are mostly made of mucus and germs, it's not very sanitary to touch them.
Oh.
And even if you do use a tissue, you should still wash your hands or use hand sanitizer after cleaning your nose.
Note to self, wash hands after picking nose with a tissue. Last question. Why do people, mostly young children, like to eat their boogers?
Super duper gross.
Oh, that's easy.
Wait, before you say it, listeners at home, whether you are or were ever or never a booger eater, I want you to think of your own answer. Why do you think people eat their boogers? You can think about it while we take a quick break, and we'll be back with the answer.
Hello, Smarty fans. As Who Smarted listeners, you've heard me talk a lot about digestion and what's going on inside your tummy. That's because your whole body's health starts in your gut. But did you know 61% of people experience digestive discomfort? Everything from bloating and constipation to gastrointestinal irritation. I know, not fun. Luckily, I found Seed's DS-01 Daily Synbiotic. It sets a new standard in probiotics that not only provides relief from occasional digestive discomfort, but also supports healthy gut immune function and promotes smooth, clear, healthy skin. As someone who loves going with his gut, I use Seed's DS-01 Daily Synbiotic every day as part of my daily routine to benefit my gut, skin, and heart health. So listen to your gut with Seed's DS-01 Daily Synbiotic. Go to seed.com/25smarted and use code 25smarted to get 25% off your first month. That's 25% off your first month of Seed's DS-01 Daily Synbiotic at seed.com/25smarted, code 25smarted.
And now back to Who Smarted. So, why do you think people, perhaps even you, eat their boogers?
Gross.
Go ahead, call out your answers. Let's see, I heard they're delicious. Boredom. How else do you get it off your finger? What's that? I'm too young to cook mac and cheese. Okay, good answers, a little gross, but good answers. But can any of these be true?
Yes and no. I'd say it's the first one, although delicious isn't the word I'd use. Kids, and even some adults, eat boogers because they're salty. And our bodies not only like the taste of salt, sometimes we crave it.
I need salt.
Of course, there are better ways to get your salt fix than eating boogers. I much prefer popcorn or potato chips. The bottom line is, eating boogers is kind of gross, definitely unsanitary, and eating them might even get you sick. So the best advice? don't do it.
But what about when you have a cold and you get the dreaded nasal drip?
When you catch a cold, boogers actually help fight it off. Your body reacts to a cold virus by making extra histamine, an inflammatory chemical that makes the membranes in your nose swell up and produce extra mucus. This thicker layer of mucus keeps infectious material from reaching your nasal tissues. It allows the mucus to push it out. Of course, sometimes so much mucus is created that you wind up swallowing a lot of the excess. That can give you a stomach ache. Your best bet is blowing your nose regularly to expel the excess mucus and boogers.
Wow, so extra mucus and boogers can actually be a good thing?
Yep. Boogers may seem gross, but like I said, they really are a superpower helping keep bad germs away.
And there you have it, kid. The good, the bad, and the ugly about boogers. But before we go, I got one more question. You learned a lot about mucus, but what's a more common word for the mucus your body makes in your nose? Is it A, saliva, B, sweat, C, sludge, or D, snot? If you said D, snot, you're right. Snot is a common way to refer to nasal mucus. And while snot is also
Super gross.
remember, it's a sign that everything's working perfectly in your mucus production system. But no nose picking without a tissue, unless you're the king.
Nose bigger? Nose bigger, where are you? I'm feeling snotty.
Ugh, I hope they invent the tissue soon. Coming, my king.
Please subscribe today in your favorite podcast app. This episode, Boogers, was written by Jason Williams and voiced by Taya Garland, Brandon Bayless, Jason Williams, Sheffield Chastain, Gia Davis, Shiloh Merritt, and Josh Hahn, and narrated by Jerry Colbert. Technical direction and sound design by Josh Hahn. Who Smarted was recorded and mixed at the Relic Room Studio. Theme song by Brian Suarez. Lyrics written and performed by Adam Tex Davis. Who Smarted was created and produced by Adam Tex Davis and Jerry Colbert. This has been an Atomic Entertainment production.